So there's a trend on social media where a lot of business people, regardless of their situations, they want to flex and they want to talk about what they're doing well. They want to talk about all the wins and they really want to show off where they're doing well. But most business people do not want to talk about where they're falling short on, and they don't want to talk about the struggles of entrepreneurship. And so I want to shed some light on my own struggles and the struggles of our company. So, today I got a message from one of my co-founders. He was basically saying, "Hey, look, we expect you to be where you say you're going to be when you say you're going to be there every time." And like a lack of doing that without communicating that you're not going to be there is unacceptable. And at first I took that criticism as like, wow, that's really harsh, and like, hey, cut me a break. I was working until 2 in the morning the night before. But at the end of the day, it was like, yeah, you know what? I should have said something. If my intention wasn't to do the thing, I should have said, hey, I'm not going to do the thing, not just not show up and say nothing. Like, that isn't acceptable. So I have to be accountable for that. I have to say, like, yeah, that is not cool. I can't do that. And there has to be a default acceptable. Like, what do you by default do every day? When you work for yourself or when you work with a really small co-founding team, you've got to establish what is it that you guys are considering normal. When do you meet up in the morning? When do you go to work? What do you do? What's your schedule? And do you all agree on that schedule? And then, these are all little tiny things, these points of contention that I can see where a lot of people end up having big co-founder debates and like where co-founders split up because they don't talk about these things. I feel like in our company so far, it seems like we at least address the issues and we try to become better people to avoid the big breakup. And so, it's we're not impervious. It could happen, but I'm really hoping that these things that we're doing are really helping. So I have vowed to be more intentional and say, like, I will tell you what my intentions are even if I intend not to do something. So I was usually okay at saying when I intended to do something, but not as good as at saying when I intended not to do something, which is an important thing. You need to be communicative with your team. So that's really important for me. I come from a background where I ran a company, the CEO of a company, and like I had a lot of autonomy. I could do pretty much whatever I wanted whenever I wanted. It didn't matter. Like, yeah, okay, I'm not going to be here until 11. I have a meeting or I'm doing this or that. Doesn't matter. It's frankly none of your business because you're just going to come in and do your job, and like if you have a problem you'll get a hold of me and I'll help you fix it. But it doesn't matter where I am or whatever. Like, my job is to do the things that grow the business, and the employee's job was to maintain the business and make sure it was operating. In this new startup with Constant Cucumber, it's not like that because part of the operation is the growth. So everyone in the team actually contributes to the growth. So part of the entire operations is also on the growth side. So I have to be accountable to the team and I have to say, look, I've got to be intentional about what I do and I've got to do what I say I'm going to do. And so, this was a huge, learning curve. It was different for me, and it was very, very important. And I think that I'm moving in the right direction. So that's on the personal development side. That's on me, and I feel like also gives you a little insight on the co-founding team and the co-founding side. But also, there's a little bit on the company side, and I want to give you some insights on what's going on there too. So if this was insightful for you and you feel like, yeah, you know what? I'm not alone. Thank goodness someone's actually coming out and like saying stuff like this. Like, awesome. Next, I'm going to go ahead and dive into some of the issues that we've had as a company, not just issues that we've had as a team. So thank you, and I wish you all the best.